So, if there was one most important thing to come out of the world, going into quarantine, is that most people, it's not just us, but the older people as well, have gotten so used to buying things online. So it's no surprise that e-commerce stocks would be up. But is it inevitable that they would be up and this situation just, accelerated it?
If you look at e-commerce stocks, right, even prior to the COVID crisis, you have seen they have been really trending upwards recently. I'm pretty sure everyone is quite familiar with the success stories of global stocks like Amazon, like Alibaba, their decade-old bull run and such. And yes, e-commerce has actually accelerated that growth for the past few months because it has opened up, because the pandemic has actually opened up the doors of e-commerce to market segments that were previously untapped. People like the elderly, people like the non-tech savvy individuals, consumers. Now they are, because of COVID, because they are not allowed to actually shop physically outside, so they have conducted their shopping online instead. So throughout these past few months, they have seen a huge increase in sales. Online credit card spending has actually jumped by almost double up throughout the past few months. So yes, and it's reflected in e-commerce stock prices as well, like you mentioned. You have companies like Scene Limited seeing almost tripling their stock prices. You have companies like Mercado Libre that have dominated the South American market, almost doubling up their stock price year to date.
But then again, these are foreign companies. Do we have local contenders?
There is one local company called Lambo Group Berhad that has an e-commerce segment built into the company, but I wouldn't say they are a pure play e-commerce market right now here in Malaysia.
Right.
But if investors would like to invest in companies that might benefit from the e-commerce rally, they can consider REITs that dabble into logistics or manufacturing.
Right.
They might consider banking companies that actually are the enablers of the e-commerce rally because they handle the digital transactions. So these banking companies will benefit as well.
Right. But I'm guessing, one question that potential investors would have is that what is the long-term argument about e-commerce stocks?
I mean, if everybody were to read the newspapers nowadays, you can see that there's a spike in increase in e-commerce usage. So it might give a sentiment that e-commerce have pretty much dominated the market, but that could be a misunderstanding because e-commerce still make up 15% of the retail sales here globally. I mean, if you think about places like China, you kind of expect their e-commerce market to be very mature to this point where everything has been done through WeChat, etc. But e-commerce penetration rate in China is still around 20%. There's still plenty of room to grow. Even e-commerce players still have to contend with incumbent players like retail outlets like Amazon versus Walmart. So there is still plenty of room to grow especially with better logistics solutions like smart warehousing, with last mile connectivity, with the 5G, with more and more people having access to internet, having quicker access online they can actually shop better and easier.
For more on the stories, pick up a copy of The Age Weekly at all good newsstands.